Hello students, welcome to yet another lecture of solid state. In our previous lecture, we discussed about crystalline solids and its types. In this lecture, we will be studying about crystal lattice and unit cell. As you can see on your screen, we are going to study about crystal lattice and unit cell. The main characteristic of the crystalline solid is a regular and repeating pattern of constituent particles. When the particles are arranged in three dimensions with regular pattern, then they are known as crystal lattice. The definition of the crystal lattice is written as a regular three-dimensional arrangement of points in space is called crystal lattice. The smallest portion of the crystal lattice, which explains all its properties, are known as unit cell. This type of three-dimensional arrangement of particles in a regular pattern is known as Brevis lattice structures. There are total 7 types of crystal systems having 14 different Brevis lattice structures in all. We will discuss it in a last topic of this lecture. At present, as on the screen, we will discuss characteristics of the crystal lattice. The first one, each point in a lattice is called as a lattice site. Second, each point in a crystal lattice represents one constituent particle. Together, these 2 points explains us that, as seen in the figure, the points which are indicated on the corners or maybe on the face or maybe in the body centered, they are considered to be as the lattice sites where the atoms are represented. And the third point indicates us lattice points are joined by straight line to bring out the geometry of the lattice. That is, when these atoms which are presented on lattice points, when they are joined, they produce 7 different types of crystal systems which are cubic, tetragonal, triclinic, etc. Specific shapes will be produced. Now we will understand unit cell. What is meant by unit cell? It's the smallest portion of a crystal lattice which, when repeated in different direction, generates the entire crystal lattice. To understand it, the characteristics of the unit cell is seen on your screen. It indicates that its dimensions along the 3 edges, which are indicated by a symbol ABC, they indicates edge lengths. Angles between the edges that are indicated by the symbol alpha, beta, gamma, they are considered as angles between these edges. Thus, a unit cell is characterized by 6 parameters A, B, C and alpha, beta, gamma. The unit cells are of 4 types: primitive unit cell, body-centered unit cell, face-centered unit cell, end-centered unit cell. These all the 4 types of unit cells. Now we will discuss it one by one. The first type of unit cell is primitive unit cell. When a constituent particles are present only on the corners of the unit cell, it is called as a primitive unit cell or simple unit cell, which is symbolized as SCC. As shown on your screen, the constituent particles are present only on the corners of the unit cell. Each atom present on the corner of the unit cell is shared by 8 other unit cells when they are arranged in a 3-dimension to form crystal lattice. Hence, only 1/8 part of an atom is actually belonging to a particular unit cell. Each unit cell has such 8 corners, and each corner has 1/8 part of an atom. Hence, unit cell has 8 into 1/8, that is equals to 1 atom. Thus, the total number of atoms present in the primitive unit cell are 1 atom. The second unit cell is body-centered unit cell. When a constituent particles are present at the corners of the unit cell and one of the constituent particle is present in the body centered of the unit cell, then it is called as body centered unit cell, symbolized as BCC. As on your screen, atoms are present on each corner of the unit cell and one atom is present in the center of that unit cell. Like primitive unit cell, atoms on the corner are shared by 8 other unit cells when they form crystal lattice. So each corner has 1/8 part of an atom, whereas the atom in the center of the unit cell is not shared by any other unit cell. So that atom is completely considered of the unit cell. Hence, there is 1 atom on the corner and 1 in the center. Total 2. Thus, we can say that every body-centered unit cell has total 2 atoms. The third unit cell, that is face-centered unit cell. When a constituent particles are present at the corners of the unit cell and on the center of each faces of the unit cell, it is called as face-centered unit cell. It is also termed as cubic close-packed structure. The symbols are FCC or CCP. As shown in your figure on the screen, the atoms are present on the corners and faces of the unit cell. Like primitive unit cell, atoms present on the corners are shared by 8 other unit cells when they form crystal lattice, while atoms present on the faces of the unit cell are shared by only 2 unit cells when they are forming crystal lattice. Thus, we can say that there are 8 into 1/8, that is equals to 1 atom on the corner, and cube having 6 faces and each face shared by 2 unit cells, and therefore it contains 6 into 1/2, that is equals to 3 atoms on the faces. In total, 1 plus 3, that is equals to 4 atoms. Therefore, every face-centered unit cell has total 4 atoms. The fourth type of an unit cell is an N-centered unit cell. When a constituent particles are present at the corners of the unit cell and other atoms in the center of any two opposite faces of the unit cell is called as an end-centered unit cell. As shown in the figure on your screen, atoms are present on the corners and in the center of two opposite faces. This type of unit cell is not formed by cubic crystal system. These type of unit cells are formed only by orthorhombic or monoclinic crystal structures. Hence, its number of atoms present in the unit cell are not been calculated. Whatever we were discussing till now about crystal lattice, unit cell and their types, you can see all the 7 types of crystal systems and 14 Brevis lattice structure on your screen in the form of table. The table represents the crystal systems, the 7 types of crystal systems, which are cubic, tetragonal, orthorhombic, hexagonal, rhombohedral, also known as trigonal, monoclinic, and triclinic. The unit cells, which we studied it as primitive unit cell, body-centered unit cell, face-centered unit cell, end-centered unit cell. If the sum of all the unit cells which are represented for individual crystal system is done, we will find that there are 14 such unit cells. Hence, it was termed as there are 14 Brevis lattice structures. In the third column, you can see that the edge lengths are indicated, which are considered as an axial distance. Fourth column represents axial angles, that are the angles between edge lengths, and examples are given in the fifth column. We have to remember the table because according to the examination point of view, we can say that we are going to get at least one question from the table. So it is very important for us to learn the table. That's all for the today's lecture. Like all other lectures, there are the few practice questions for you. Try to solve them. And for any difficulties, contact me using the mobile number given on your screen.